Hello, happy Sunday. How's everybody? This week we're going to take a walk down Paul Manfred's walk down memory lane. Uh, some things from my past I want to speak about, and I want to start off with there's three links. There's always links. I always have dedicated reading with these videos. The first one is about the next chapter in the tomato suspension agreement. Remember when I told you when this was all taking place, when they were in negotiations, that it's not going to stop at tomatoes. And the southern growers are trying to push this towards peppers and cucumbers and everything. Now, again, anybody that doesn't know me, I am a flag waving veteran, America first, bleed red, white, and blue. But the truth is, the southern growers cannot supply this country with these items in the wintertime. Just take it to the bank. They can't do it. So it's just a way for them to just try to make more money, and the consumers get hurt in the end. That's why the tomatoes all winter long were at astronomical prices, and consumers get hurt. And some people get richer. So that's all I want to say about that. I told you it was going to happen. Hopefully, it doesn't go the same way as the tomato suspension agreement, which I totally believe is a total farce. So, getting that out of the way. Next, I want to talk about you an old friend, and it's a rebranding. J&D Produce right here in Texas. When I was a salesman in Terminal Market at Catchman, J&D. We were an exclusive distributor of his products. Now, the rebranding is Little Bear. Well, I can tell you in New York, it's Little Bear. It's always been Little Bear. I mean, everybody knew it was J&D, but everybody asked for Little Bear. And I got to tell you something. I have some cheap customers, that do really heavy volume and they sell cheap. They buy Little Bear because they say, Paul, the stuff lasts on the stand. So a shout out to the next generation of Bassettis. I can remember when Jimmy Bassetti Sr. would call me 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to get a little posted on the markets and stuff like that. And he had a little foray into red peppers. Yes, Jimmy, I remember for a couple of years you had red peppers coming out of here, and used to, back then I was still selling red peppers. So congratulations to J&D. I think the rebranding is a no-brainer, James. Everybody knows Little Bear. Everybody knows it's a great mark. So good luck with that. The next one, the other link is my family in the Hunts Point Market. I know all those, most of those people intimately for 40 plus years. The bosses of those markets, were friends when we were 17, and now they're owners of the market. So it's a nice read. I think you should check it out, and little education experience. Getting into the terminals, I've been predicting markets for pretty consistently, and probably right 80 to 90% of the time. This COVID's got me a little perplexed because things that are supposed to happen, there's a whole new paradigm in this thing. So my crystal ball is a little foggy lately, and we're going to see if we could get some Windex on it and clear off the fog. Okay, I'm sorry. There would have been another link, and I searched and searched because I thought it was a great story about educating consumers. And I think anybody in the produce business, all the produce guys out there, our kids are well versed. Whether they just listen to us, they're well versed in the produce business. Now, I'll give you an example. This story was basically about a guy was with his children in the store, and they saw Stemmelt cherries, and I love Stemmelt cherries. I mean, when I used to take them home, that's what I used to take home. And the little boy or girl knew that was a good brand, okay? That's the kind of education I am talking about for consumers. We have to teach consumers the way our children know about produce. That to me was such an outstanding story that a 7 or 8 year old, I think if I got it right, knew that Stemble Cherries was a very good brand. And that's what's missing in our industry. Again, we market to each other. We already know about each other. I just told you about J&D, Little Bear. The retailer knew about Little Bear. The wholesaler knows about Little Bear. We have to make sure the consumer knew about Little Bear, like the little girl knew about Stemble Cherries or Foxy Lettuce, or just go on down the list. But it's that type of education that's going to propel all of us forward. So there's my take on the on education. Again, I just think that PMA United, are just not involved in this enough, and or either that or they're lost and they just don't get it. Okay. Trucks. Trucks are a supply and demand market. And if you remember 2 years ago, after very, very cheap rates for extremely long time, basically a lot of trucking companies went out of business. And what happened then? When trucks went out of business, when we needed trucks, if you remember, those rates went from $8,000 to $10,000 to the Northeast. We just came off of extremely cheap prices again. And the truck market has been tight in August, which usually falls off. And again, I just think that maybe, with cheap markets, people either go out of business or just don't find it worthwhile. And so now with the higher rates, what usually happens, people have the money to go out and get more trucks and try to build up their supplies. It's just like produce. The spot market, it's a spot market on trucks, just like any other, just like a produce item. So it's all supply and demand. There are already contracted carriers with all that extra stuff is all spot market, and those spot market trucks have to be taken up by capacity. If the capacity is not there, guess what? The rates go through the roof. Simple supply and demand. Right? So I think that's the next chapter. We saw the glut. Now we're going to see the shortage, and until the capacity gets built up again, there we go. Okay. Let's talk about other supply and demand items like red peppers. There's where my crystal ball got a little fogged. As far as I'm concerned, well, I last week I mentioned that the market was going to get hotter, but I also said, the week of the twos is always the end of the month. Last 2 weeks in August are a terrible month. When I was a terminal buyer and and a speculator, several weeks out of the month. A year, several weeks a year, I'd never speculate because prices, no matter how cheap you paid, just wasn't enough. And they were last week in January and February, last 2 weeks of August, the 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, and I think I missed 2 I may have missed one, but it hasn't changed. Last 2 weeks of August are still a dog, okay? But I really believe if there's any kind of business, there was not enough, there was not enough pepper. The peppers were down maybe 50% from the week before. The problem was last week, I guess business was down 75%. So you really didn't feel it. Towards the end of the week, you did feel it. Now, if anybody's reading the news, between the heat that's still prevalent, it's starting to cool off a little bit. Cool off, it's 102. You have fires, you have smoke that people cannot work. Even the air quality is so bad that the people can't work. So you are going to see, with any type of business at all, you're going to see this market turn around and go higher. The other side of the coin is, on the supply side, if they could get picked, there will be new areas starting, with new fields starting. So there's the balancing act. But I think at the terminal level this week, I think markets should be where I thought they would be last week. They should be 2022 and better. In fact, they definitely should be 22 and better. And I'm looking for that to happen. We'll see what happens for the following week, because the end of the month goes into the following week. You're not going to hit the new checks until the following Monday or Tuesday. So it's going to be, and that leads us into Labor Day, which Labor Day is the end of the summer holiday, but it was never a really big produce holiday. And you like my new, here's my, my saying about red peppers, right? My customers, get them when they're hot and take them when they're not. Right? That's always been my mantra. And what happened to? Does anybody see me? Because I just lost my camera. What's going on here? Excuse me. Oh boy. What happened here? Oh, there I am. I probably looked stupid there for a little while, but I'm sorry. I all of a sudden my screen went dark, and I thought I lost everybody. So that's my old mantra. My new thing is red peppers. Some people have them prime time. Some people have them sometime. I have them all the time, and that's a fact. Now, when they have no time for you, you could call me anytime. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that this week. I love you. I love the produce business. Let's educate our consumers, the next generation, our children of consumers, the next generation of our customers. PMA United. Let's get on the ball here. You know, let me see some pizzazz ads teaching people how to do produce. And that's it until I say goodbye, and then I remember about 15 things I should have said, but too late now. Love you. Love the produce business. Take care. Be safe. And we'll see you next Sunday, unless I have something to say during the week. Have a great day.